Now, welcome back, lads and lasses, of course. This is going to be, as you can see, what it is. It's the Supermarine Walrus. This is Mark 1, the Airfix kit. I think this came out in 2017. Now, crumbs, I bought it when it first came out. This has been knocking around my stash for that long. Anyway, so what we're going to add to this is seat belts. This is the seat belts here. This is the HKW ones. I should think they should be okay. You can't see it. I don't think you're going to see that much. And we're also going to have a little mask set. There's a lot of glazing. The Montex set. This is the MkI set, and we've got masks for roundels and codes, so that's going to be pretty decent. I just need to obviously go and watch me colours on that. The kit I think we're going to be doing, you can see I've debagged already. The kit I think, or the scheme I think we're going to be doing is not this rather pretty Australian one. Really nice. There's the rigging guide. So we'll see how that comes together. I think it's going to be, and it's not that one either, which I quite like the dark grey and the light grey underneath. It's going to be scheme A. This is from Harrowbeer, which is quite close to me in Plymouth. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Fits in nicely with Sways, British Aviation In Scale, if you don't know. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Now this is like old, good Airfix, if you kind of get my drift. So the details, as you can see, is pretty decent. But if you know this kit, which you probably do, we know about the injector pins, which are absolutely everywhere. Let's find a little pointer. I think I'd be organised, wouldn't you? So they're absolutely everywhere. Raised, which is a nightmare, you know. I mean, not too bad to clean up, as you can see. Not that bad, really. But it's just a job you could just do without doing, really. So what I think I'm going to do quickly, because I've already had a go at some stuff, I think what I might do is quickly go off camera, so to speak, is just loosely get the fuselage together and actually see what we can see, try and identify the ones I need to get rid of, and get rid of. I'm clearly not going to waste my time getting rid of that one, or that one. You know, so only do the jobs that you need to do, I think. But yeah, this has been re-released. I don't know whether it's been re-released in the new plastic. If it has, it would be absolutely excellent. The new Airfix plastic is brilliant. This is the time of recording in 2025. He's looking at this in 5 years' time. Well, I hope they're still producing. Anyway, enough waffle. Let's just. So you can see, after just loosely placing these parts together, there's, you know, not going to be a lot you're going to see in there. I have marked, I don't know whether you can see that, a couple of pins that probably get in the way, this side as well, yeah. So I think we can just do a couple around here and then leave all the rest in there, and there's just a few around here. What has struck my mind, look, just is I'm sure that should be look, that's going to be nice, isn't it? Sanding that back to get that bit of glazing in. Anyway, worry about that another day. That's for a future me. So removing these injector pins, you can do this in many ways, of course. I've got a chisel here, quite sharp. I'm always cut myself on it. You can see the these black dots. Now what I've done there obviously is assembled the fuselage, or the hull I should say, and the cockpit area together, and I'd look through the cockpit window, through the rear turret, for want of a better word, and through the front there, to see what pins look like the ones that are going to be the worst offenders, and then basically got a one of them AK marker pens and dotted them. I mean, there's so many, as you can see, that you don't have to do. You can do if you want to do them, of course, but I didn't bother. Now, this little structure here I should have left off. I glued it on here because I was just rushing, and then I had to take it off again and paint it. And when I glued it back together again, it was slightly proud, and I think that's it didn't enable the fuselage just to fit together as nicely as it should do. The seat going together, you can see how nicely detailed this kit is. Everything fit. There was hardly any. I'm trying to think now if there was any fit issues. I don't think there was. Just that thing I've just mentioned, the that former should have either left it glued in or left it to be painted and then glued it in. Because when you unglue something and then try and glue it back in again, it never seems to go back as it was. That's the winch. This is the anchor, the winch for the anchor in the front of the fuselage. Obviously, this is the instrument panel, nicely detailed. Obviously, you can get all aftermarket stuff. These are the colours I used for the yes, mahogany servicer 1000. And that is the pen I used for dotting the pins that needed to come off. And I thought, oh, while I've got it here, let's use them for instrument panel, and they work really, really well. Just in a minute, I used it's not a great out of focus picture that, but you can see I used the aluminium on the anchor here, and it really, just on bare plastic, it really looks great. Well, you couldn't do an old airframe in it, of course, but for little details they're great. I might have to get some more colours. Bit of dry brushing here with some what is it, Longbeard grey, isn't it? Longbeard Citadel Longbeard grey. I nearly invested in some of the AK dry brushing paints, but I thought, well, I've got Citadel ones, are just as good as I would have thought. Let's use these up, because I don't think they've got long left before we do any more unnecessary spending. So this is just obviously just lighting up all the internal detail, just to give it a bit of lightness. This is one of my favourite techniques. This is to make the wood effect. Really, it's so easy and so basic, but so effective. It's great. I think this is burnt umber oil paint I'm using here. You can use any brown, you can use any base colour, depending on what sort of colour wood that you were after. It's so easy. I would just get a bit of plastic or an old kit and then just have a play with it. Change your colours up and see what colours you can come up with. And the magic ingredient, which sometimes forget to be mentioned, is clear orange. Any clear would do, of course. I'm using Mr. Hobby. It's just great. It's just a great technique. And just if you haven't seen it before, this is the internal of the cockpit floor, of course. These are the Edward lap belts, seat belts, harnesses. HG jewellery, sorry, not Edward. I did try and film the main pilot seat assembly of the harnesses, but my lord, it was hard enough to put together, let alone film as well. I find them really tricky, but they are probably the best that you can get, I think. Coming together nicely. The white cap Tamiya glue, which obviously is really good for big areas, and takes a little while to go off, so you've got a bit of playtime to muck about with. As I say, everything fit together on this kit. There's a slight gap, I guess, for the hull with the fuselage side. Is that what they would be called? It's a hull and the fuselage side. There is a slight gap there where the tape is, which I did have to fill. Yeah, it looks not too bad, does it? It kind of obviously depends on yourself how you. It was fine for me. I just filled it in as best as I could, and that was good enough. There's so much in this fuselage, you think, oh great, but actually, when it's all together, there's not much you can see. Isn't that the same with every aircraft? So it's up to you on how much detail you want. Excuse me, how much detail that you want to put into the fuselage, of course. You can see me fill up some small gaps. This is where you've got the option to carry a bomb rack. Obviously, we didn't on ours, and just filled this in. I didn't ever want this to be filled in. They were never ever filled in completely. I just wanted it filled in as if they were like blanks, in like real life. This is just using straight water. You can see on the bench there, just to neaten up the this perfect, I can't say it, perfect plastic putty. God blimey, it's been a long day. Yeah, just to take away the gaps really, rather than to fill them. I guess the wings, the bottom wings weren't could have been better. I guess you could say that maybe they should have been a spar that you could glue in if you was having them deployed. Obviously, my wings are deployed. You can have with the kit. You can have the wings retracted. So what I've had to do here is just get a couple of sanding sticks or sanding sponges just to get the right dihedral. Well, there isn't much of a dihedral, to be honest. Just to get them in there so I can put some proper glue in. The gap was then subsequently filled by perfect plastic putty. The engine going together, nice little engine out the box. Goes together quite nicely, as you can see. So we're just about ready to go into paint. Well, to primer. Just want to point out the canopy is not staying. I'm having the open canopy, and I'm going to use this silly thing here, and we know what that's going to do. It's all going to peel off. We know that, and shrink. But there you go. This is the nicest seating canopy I've had for a long time. It really fits really well. There's a little shake on it and it's not particularly clear, but I'm just want to point out, if you were going to build this, the canopy, if you have it closed, is really nice. Fits perfectly. What a shame. Anyway, so we've got lots of all this stuff here that wants priming and then painting. I think we'll still go with the mahogany primer, obviously not for the metal parts. Well, let's get on with it, shall we? Let's go and do some priming. I won't show the actual process. We've all seen paint being added, so this is what it will probably look like. So there it is. This is what it looked like after all that. Goes on really nicely, as you can imagine, nice and smooth. I have given this a bit of a buff down with an old polishing stick, but you know, it's nice and smooth, feels really good. I'm going to be using if I put the paints up here, look, you can see what I'm going to be using. It'll be a mixture of all this lot here. So we've got Tamiya, ordinary Tamiya. For your information, what I've seemed to have found is that X73 is a good colour for slate, and XF77 is not that bad, not far off dark sea grey, or even extra dark sea grey. It's a little bit greyer for my liking, and obviously the sky is the sky. If you compare it to the MRP, which is the best one, it's got lovely blue. It's not so blue, but you know, it's not bad. So it'll be a mixture of them Tamiyas with some MRPs thrown in, some slate, might use a bit of sky just to line it up, and I'm also for good measure I've got Mr. Colour Sky. I'm actually, to be honest, between me and you, I'm in debate which one to use, to be honest. What I will do though, we're going to get a shout out for another paint. That there was just black primed in Mr. Surfacer with this 201 extra fine silver. That is absolutely lovely. That is lush. So just a shout out for that colour there. Right, I'm going to go and do some spraying. So paint, there we go, we're all painted up. Sky underneath. So used the mahogany primer, Tamiya Sky, Tamiya 73, XS73, sorry, for the slate green, or the slate grey, which is pretty good colour. Now, the extra dark sea grey, I was going to use this and maybe tone it down a little bit, or tone it up a little bit with like another grey. But at the 11th hour, medium blue with a bit of this colour. I don't know what the mix was, unfortunately, but just mixed it as best I could to get that sort of colour. It's possibly still a little bit blue, but it's going to obviously have a bit of weathering on it yet. What I've also done, if you can see, I've also highlighted the centre of the panels here and there, just to give us a bit of something. Same with the side. Obviously the top wing, was the top wing, and the engine nacelle. I didn't film that, of course. I just thought it'd be really boring, and it was particularly boring. But what we're going to go on to now is the masks for the roundels, serial markings. I'm going to be using MRP for these colours. and then obviously for white we've got insignia white. I don't have the white for that. So I think we'd better have a go at this. I'll film as much as I can. If I don't muck it up too badly, we will stay tuned, and we'll see how we get on. I could always obviously go back to the decals. Oof. I owe Montex a bit of an apology here. I was expecting the masks, the decal or the marking masks, and the masks for the clear parts to shrink and to shrivel up and to curl, which they have done in the past, let's be honest. But brilliant these were. They really did work very well indeed. And obviously to spray the markings is RAF markings is pretty straightforward anyway, but it works really well, especially with the MRP colours. Excellent. If only I knew someone who had a proper vinyl cutter for me, I can make me some masks. Hinting. But no, they work really well, and I wish I could do this on all the kits that I produce, that I make, but sometimes it's just not viable. So with the lacquers, MRP lacquers, they dry within minutes. This literally was done almost in real time, and they look really nice, really nice. Very good. How good that looks. So obviously what's coming up here now is the fin marking, which took more to mask than it did actually to spray on, as you can imagine, of course. And the little roundel on the fuselage. I did think this might go a bit awry, but in actual fact it turned out okay. A little bit on the squiff perhaps, but hey, I'm only human. This has had a coat of LP23, the semi-gloss or semi-matte, semi-gloss clear. Looks nice, doesn't it? Very tactile, very tactile. So what we did, I had an absolute nightmare with painting these squadron codes, so much that these now these now are decals. Yeah, we don't talk about that so much, but this looks okay, looking all right. Too bad. So we're going to be getting on with some weathering. I'll probably do a filter, do like a filter over the airframe, and then pick out some panel lines here and there, and just rough it up a little bit. Maybe some green around here, some out. I don't know. We'll see how far we get till I get fed up. But we're coming on. We are coming on, of course. What I do need to do, there's quite a lot of rigging to do. So this will be rigged, fully rigged, before it gets sat on. But anyway, there's quite a bit still left to do, so we will get on with it. Clearly this is speeded up, a little bit of speeded up footage. The filter actually worked okay. I remember back in the day, I suppose, I used to always use a sludge wash, which to the uninitiated is similar. In fact, exactly the same as this, but obviously a lot thicker. And I came away from using sludge washes, oil, and like clay washes, I came away from it because it just got a bit too messy, and I kind of went in a different direction in weathering. But I thought, well, let's let's try a little filter on this, just to see, just to tone down the colours a little bit. And by and large, I think it worked okay. We will see this later on. You can obviously see what I'm doing here. So we've dried this off with a hairdryer. I'm using a bit of dry towel. Just clean it off, and you get like a dusty or dirty old finish, which is just what we wanted. Is that lovely engine again with the superfine silver, using AK's, is it AK's Starship Filth enamel wash there, just to give us a bit of contrast on that silver. I could have used a black wash, to be honest. You can get away with a black wash on the silver. Engine's quite nice. Obviously you can probably get resin engines now, but that's okay out the box. Pretty good. This is a different I think this is a different colour wash, this one. This is I think the other one was like a burnt umber, and this is like a I can't remember what it was now, to be honest. Anyway, slightly different brown. Same old process, pretty thin, hairdryer, dry off. And this is a bit of a heavier application here, just to get some of the panel lines filthed up. And then just wiped off here with a cotton bud, dry cotton bud. On the top as well. I wonder if you can see the picked out the panels during the painting there. I think I mentioned that earlier. Difficult to see. This is a bit of green. I can't remember what green this is now, like a sap green, I think it is. Just to give like a feel of like algae, I'd guess, that you'd get on something that's been in the water on and off. Now this is the engine cell going in here. Now this has all been, I rigged this earlier. You didn't take any footage of it, of course, because it is pretty difficult, because you've got to get right in, and I've got to wear the visor as well, and everything gets knocked about. You can see how that's rigged, and it's just a real pain. So I do apologise for not filming much of the rigging, but what I do with the rigging I do is the top wing. I've come to the habit now of rigging up the top wing as such, and then dropping it onto mating into the struts, into the bottom wing struts, and then using super glue and kicker to make the thread into where they should be. What I should have done though, using a bit of Bob Smith's, thought I'd try some of this. Bob Smith's really nice, really skinny stuff, really thin. With an applicator, this might be a little way forward as well. What I should have done, which we'll see shortly, if I can stop using this glue for a minute. Alright, that's enough of that. Should have done here on the bottom wing here, it was made, should have made when it was off, probably when it was before it's painted, should have made some little holes with either a knife blade point or a little drill bit to where the thread needed to be. Now I didn't do that. So basically we're just gluing these as best we can. And we all know, you know, with a period of time they'll twang off, but, you know, my mistake. Learn from my mistakes, gentlemen and ladies. So just there, that's just going on to the lump, which is the lump that is there. I should have cut a little hole into that so I could something to place the thread into. I'm just using some PVA glue just to make the illusion of these little where the wires meet each other. There's the little join there. That's just to bit of PVA, which I then paint later with some black with the black markers. The engine is just PVA'd in. I'm thinking to myself, perhaps at a later date I could swap it out for a nice resin one, but I probably won't bother. Front canopy, this actually fitted not too bad. I think if I was going to do this kit again, which I'm not ruling out, I'd probably go with the closed canopy because that really did fit excellent. So we're just going to finish off here. I think we're coming to the very end. Legs going on there, fitted nicely, of course, as you'd expect. So I'd just like to say thank you for sticking with it. If you've made it this far, if you like what you see, obviously give us a sub, give us a thumbs up, all that nonsense, and hopefully we'll see you in the not too distant future for another go at some. I've got a couple of things in mind, so we'll probably just have to I'll make my mind up in due course and hopefully get something out to you in not too distant future. So once again, boys and girls, I'll see you on the next one. I'll leave you with the closing images here, and then we'll have some money shots, and I'll see you on the internet.